Oh, damn, we're on. Hey, everyone, Smitty here, trialing something new. Me chatting to myself for you to listen to. So it's not really chatting to myself. If you hear this, I am not chatting to myself. How weird's that? If no one hears this, it is to myself. Anyway, that's actually not what this video is about. I'm going to show you a bunch of stones. Not that one. I am going to chat about myself while watching videos of myself. I'm going to love it. I'm going to have a great time. There's a chance you'll enjoy it. But to me, that doesn't matter. I've got a hot chocolate salt, but I've also got a Peppy Max next to me. What I'm trying to say is I'm locking in here for a good time. So get comfortable. I'm going to chat about my Australian record Atlas Stone that I got like a month ago. So I'm going to chat about how I felt, really. I wanted to make a video about how I felt. And then after that, I'm going to go into my story with Atlas Stones. I'm going to show you me doing stones. I'm not going to show you all these videos, so don't freak out. There's a couple of photos here. I'm just going to go through some stuff because I've got a bit of a story with the stones. I think it's worth chatting about. I feel like chatting about it. Through this, I hope to... I haven't really thought about that. I don't have any goals for this. I'm going to chat about what I went through emotionally. I am an emotional person. We're all emotional people. I enjoy talking about my emotions, I guess, and assessing them. That's the difference. So if you're interested in how I felt and what it feels like to do something amazing, not that you haven't done anything amazing in your life, but maybe you haven't, then here I am chatting about myself. Like, what do you want? Whatever. So it might be a slightly long one. I'm just going to keep chatting till I'm out of things to say or till I'm out of words. But basically, this is about my 170 kilo Atlas Stone load at under 80 kilos. And then I'm going to chat about what it means to me. So welcome. Thanks for being here. Let's just shut up. Hopefully the sound is okay. I've turned the fan down a little, so I'm still comfortable, but hopefully you guys can hear. I think I need to turn down the videos when I play them so that you can hear me talk. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll just do better next time. So, without further ado, let's watch my favorite one, I think. Yeah, I'm going to mute it. Even though it's great with the sound, I think it does something to the microphone. So this was at, a bit under a month ago, or about 4 weeks ago now, at the end of competing at ASI. This is a 170 kilo Atlas Stone in the under 80 kilo category. Easy. And then I went off. I love to watch it. I love that I acted like that. I love it. I love it all. You've probably seen this. If you're watching this video, I'm guessing you've seen this. I'm not going to unpack technique or go over anything like that, but yeah, I'm super glad that I went nuts, crawled up on that thing. Pretty easy load. My this doesn't often happen, but my calves were cramping. Now, yeah, calves started cramping here. It's common for me at the end of a competition day, as in it's happened once before. I've cramped up on the extension because I have to get up on my toes to reach here. It is common for me to start getting cramps, but I actually started cramping up here. And I remember thinking I was spewing. I was like, fuck, that's like one of the easiest picks of 170 I've ever done. But I was sitting here cramping. At the end of the day, it actually made me like spend less time here. I was going to spend a fair bit of time thinking about things, but I was cramping up, so I just had to go. And they didn't get any worse. My calves didn't cramp any worse throughout the lift. It was pretty steady. And then I forgot about it here, obviously. I said I'm the shortest fucking here. Easy. I know I'm not the shortest there, but I'm one of. And then this part, I reckon Mason knew I was acting. He pulled a bit of a face. Guys, I would have jumped down, but I crawled, like, come on. My belt did get stuck there. Got a different angle. My belt did get stuck, but I wanted to jump down and then I thought it'd be funny. So if you're one of the people that said, how come you can load a 170 kilo stone but you can't get down off a platform? I was joking. As if you don't know I was joking. You mustn't know me. But then my belt did get stuck. Is there a photo of it? It does look pretty funny. So my belt did get stuck. Not stuck and my foot wasn't down. I reckon Mason knew I was joking. I'm glad I did it. I think it makes a great video. I love sharing it. I'm a bit of a laugh. So that was a surprise. That lift was definitely a surprise. I wasn't prepped or ready to get that stone. The heaviest I lifted in training was 150 for 2. I've got a video of that. Maybe I'll show it. But what happened was me and James and I, where's the stone run? So the last event of the day was an Atlas Stone series from, I think, 120. Maybe we'll watch this through. So James is over here in front of me. I needed to get third place, I think, or second place to lock up third position. So I just thought I'd do these two nice and fast-ish, and they popped up nice and easy, and then take my time with the rest, knowing I'd kind of locked in third place here. And you'll see James in a sec. He's here as well. This is 150 to 1.2. I was taking my time with it, but it wasn't really hard-ish. 150, and then taking my time with the tacky. And then I saw that James hadn't gone yet, so I was kind of like, oh, well, I don't care if I miss this. I'll just go now and try and win an event, like even though it won't change my placing. But you can see his pickup's a lot faster than me. He doesn't have to adjust his legs too much. So he beat me. Anyway, so that's two of us loading 160. James probably hasn't competed under 80 before, maybe. I've got 160 under 80 like 3 times, or a bunch of times. But that would honestly be, I can't be bothered getting the list up, but there might be 6 or 7 people in the under 80s that have done 160, but no one's done 170. So there's this big lockup, heaps of us on 160. So I went up to Mason and I went up to James first, asked if he'd be interested in trying 170 with me. Went up to Mason and asked if there was time at the end of the comp. Could me and James go for the 170? And he said, yep, whoever got the 160 is welcome to go for a chance at the 170. So that's how that came about. It wasn't a part of the comp. I've actually done stones today. I haven't showered. I did stone to shoulder today. And if I shower and have dinner, I'll just get too tired and won't make this video. So I'm just literally doing it right now. Anyway, that's the story of how the 170 came about. It wasn't on my mind to go for a max. I hadn't really prepped for it, so to speak, but I had been training somewhat heavy stones. Here's the heaviest I did for my prep. This was 150 for 2. And this day, I think I'd done 140 to 1.4 for a triple or a double or something like that. I'd done lots of heavy-ish work to really high. And then I just thought I would try a single at 150. And I said to myself, if it felt good, I would do a double. So it's kind of like training for the comp. If I can do 150 for 2 in training, should be able to do 150 and then 160 at the comp. Bit of a grind, but that was a PB. I've never done 150 for 2. And then I practiced celebrating. Did you see that? I practiced my celebration. So that's how the 170 came about. How did I feel? I can't remember. I was ecstatic. I can remember. I just wish that I'd, moving forward, whatever. How long are we going for? 6 minutes, fuck. I wish I'd chatted about this more in the moment. I should have made this video straight away. I thought, it's a lot of work, you can see, getting all the footage together and thinking of what to say. But like the emotional part's kind of gone. It's cool watching these videos back. It's cool that it happened. But you've got that day and you've got the next day where you're chatting about it, and maybe the week when you're seeing people at gym. And that's kind of it. Then things go back to normal. That's my experience with stuff anyway. You train for things. You do well or you do bad, and if you feel bad, it's a day or two. If you feel good, it's a day or two. And then it's straight back into something else. So if you've got these high hopes of getting records or winning things or doing stuff, you should definitely do it, but try not to build it up that it's going to change your life in any way, or that you're going to feel way different, or it's going to change anything drastically. It's a great moment, but that's about it. The lift meant a lot to me, and I loved at ASI, at the comp in general. That's a different video. Just at the comp in general, how many people... Have I got another angle? Just loved how many people... This is on the live feed. I'll just make sure it's turned down. This was the live feed. But I loved how many people were celebrating with me in the video. I love how many people came up to me after it to wish me well. I reckon I had 3 people come up to me and say that they've seen me attempt this Aussie record 2 times, and this is my 3rd time going for it. and they've been at the other comps, and they were happy that they were here to see it. And I just really enjoyed people coming up to me and saying, well done. Oh, yeah. That is so easy. I reckon I could have got 175. I don't know about 180. I think the pick would have been a bit harder, and therefore the load would have been much harder. Easy. So that was on the limit. Maybe fresh, but yeah, I don't know. I won't speculate. There's me acting, everyone. Come on. PB Stone, stoked about it. I loved people coming up to me, not because it's people like attention or anything like that. What I noticed I was doing was going along with the excitement. So a few people came up to me and said, well done, that was so good. And my reply would be something like, I know, did you see that? Like, or they're like, that was so good. I'm like, I know, how good was that? Like, I was just trying to join. I wasn't saying like, I wasn't being humble. Like I'd normally just be like, yep, thank you. Yep, thank you. I was like, how good was that? That was so fucking good. Like I was just going along with it. It felt fun for me. And the feedback from people felt believable. Like it felt like they were actually happy for me, which was mega for me, actually. I forgot about this. Yeah. Okay, so I do have something to say. It was good to be reminded or to know that people care about what I'm doing. Not that they have to care or that they care a lot, but sometimes with me, it's just something that I've noticed about myself over the last year is, I don't even know how to word it. See, I should have thought about this. I don't feel alone. It's not the right word, but sometimes I do lots of stuff and I do stuff that I know is great. And it's kind of like, why do I do it? Or is anyone seeing this? Like, you know, you're eating well, you're living well, you're thinking well, and you don't see the payoff every day. Sometimes you're tired and sometimes you're grumpy and bad things still happen in your life. And it's kind of, people don't see, I don't see you do it either. So it's not like I am special in any way and deserve more praise. But I don't know, I've just found myself, I guess also as a coach, like I'm praising people all day and encouraging and stuff like that. I don't have a coach or anyone in my life that's kind of encouraging me nonstop or even a little bit. So this was just a big reminder for me. I really walked away from this comp. So if you came up to me, thank you. If you messaged me, thank you. If you did anything at all, it actually kind of life-changing because I left that comp feeling loved and feeling supported. Just by people doing this much just made me remember that I'm doing this for a reason, that what I do matters. Yeah, that's the feeling that I left with. I can't really justify it if it sounds silly, but that's the feeling that I left with, was that I matter. And it wasn't because I did that stone that I matter and that I need to do great things in order to matter in this world, but it was a reminder that I am enough. And I think I'd forgotten that. I'm constantly pushing and trying lately. It's been a tough couple of years. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say about that. If you came up to me, thank you, because yeah, I felt your joy. I felt the excitement with people that were happy for me, and to have so many people happy for me was kind of new to me. So the fact that that record happened at that comp and had that effect on me kind of makes sense now why I've missed that attempt or that record at other comps, and I'll show you that now. If I'd gotten this lift at a different comp, I'm sure I still would have had a great day and I would have loved the moment and everything, but would it have given me what I needed as far as this feeling of support and love that I left with? I don't know. We can only speculate. But that was one thing. Obviously, I'm happy to get a PB. I'm happy that I have a record, but you're only happy for a day or two. The feeling of, even if people aren't watching me, like people do care. People, like, I don't know, it's just enough for me to keep doing what I do, like kind of in silence and keeping to myself, and be okay with that, because what I do matters and what you do matters. Just because I don't praise you or you don't have praise or anything like that, whatever you're doing, I like the idea that it's nothing goes unnoticed and nothing goes unseen. And I believe that, but now I know it to be true. So just because no one sees you pick up some rubbish, just because no one sees you help someone and you don't post about it for likes and stuff like that, that shit adds up. That shit goes somewhere, and you're changing your life. You are. I believe it, but I forgot it, and now I know it. I'll shut up. So I totally lied. I lifted 165. 150 for 2 wasn't the most I did. The most I did, I thought it was up here. Up at Coco's, is it gone? Up at Coco's, I lifted an all-time PB of 165. Here it is. I'm just going to let this play while I sip on some hot chocolate. Excuse me. Can you hear that through the mic? Sounds gross, eh? $165 Atlas Stone. I can't remember if this was hard. Looks harder than the 170, doesn't it? I was just surprised. I didn't even celebrate. I was like, did I just do that? Bit of a grind, but that was a PB, and PBs don't happen too often, especially on stones. I'll show you how many times I've done 160. Yeah, we're grinding. That was on the limit. I think I did 150 and it wasn't too bad. Straight to 165. So I lied. That was the heaviest I lifted for the prep. So go me. After that lift, I went and cried a little bit. I teared up. That lift meant a lot to me. And I'll go through that in a second. I'll explain why. But I didn't cry after the 170 stone. I didn't cry after my monster dumbbell record. So the crying's done, I think. Haven't cried since a while. Been a bit of a crier lately. Crying isn't due to sadness. Crying is frustration. And sometimes we're frustrated because it's a sad feeling. Frustration is when you can't fix something, or when you can't do something about a situation. That's frustration. So sometimes I cry because it's a release of frustration, or I'm feeling frustrated. So I've been a big crier. So frustration is my big theme in my life lately. Last close to 12 months now. Anyway, I'm not scared to chat about it. Anyway, the reason that made me tear up, I saw something online that upset me just before that. I was having a good training day up there, so I had to psych up and zone out from something that upset me. Anyway, it's hard to talk about. I've got this here. This is me attempting 171. This is 33 weeks ago. Freemason number. I haven't watched this in a while, but cried a fair bit this day. I'm going to watch this. Josh filmed this for me. This is my 171 kilo world record attempts. This is when the world record was at 170. It's cool music. It's cool music. Thanks, Josh, for making this. I'm going to watch it again. I haven't watched this in a while. I love it. Yeah, thanks so much for filming that, bro. I appreciate it. That makes me emotional very much. Not going to cry because I'm not frustrated, but that hits me in the feels. I get taken back to that day. That music takes me back to that day, in particular what I was going through at the time, and it's just some heavy stuff. And I missed that lift. So after I missed that lift, the hype that I had to go through to overcome, like I was barely eating back then, drinking a little bit at night just to be able to sleep. Not a great time. And then psyching myself up for that lift because I wanted it so badly. I missed it. It's really close. I'll show you a different video. It was close. I missed. And then the sudden drop of like, you hype yourself up to get it. You get close. So I had disappointment, excitement because I thought I could do it maybe on my second attempt, but then the release, I walked off and like uncontrollable, like sobbing. I can't remember if water or tears came out of my eyes, but it was like sobbing. I remember Ran was there and came up to me, saw like, and I think he just said something like he let me alone. He didn't say like, oh, what's wrong or anything. He just saw that I was something. Hasn't happened before like that. It was just a big come down. So when I watch that video, that takes me back to that feeling, and the music, mainly because of the music. I think if I just watched the video, it doesn't have that. So that that was attempt at 171, which would have been a world record because the world record was 170 at the time. And then like that week, someone got 172. Then the next week, someone got 175, and now it's at 180 something. So whatever, would have been nice to say I had a world record 171. But that miss and the night that I had, like that night was a memorable. I'll never forget that night. I can't go into that on this video. That night was extremely memorable for me, and just the feelings of that week and that time in my life were so strong. So like I was a bit disappointed. I actually had to pull out of that comp due to a back injury. So that was the log deadlift stone. So I decided not to do log and deadlift, and I was still able to do stone. But that just adds to this 170. So when I jump up, and I'm so happy when I get the 170, it's because of this. And if I had to pick, I'd rather have got the 170 when I did than had the world record that day, because of what happened that night. That had to happen. And what happened when I got the 170, that had to happen to set me on my new trajectory now and feel a bit better about myself and stuff like that. So if you're ever going through something, time and a place, if you don't understand, we can't understand things now. I just don't think we can. Life makes sense in reverse, man. I've got another angle of me missing that 165. These are just in a terrible order. I didn't really try. It just had to be. No, sorry, the 171. That's what I was looking for. These are 165. I'll show them in a second. Forgive me, guys. This is... So yeah, there's me like psyching up. Here's me psyching up for the 170. Can't remember what I'm thinking. Can't remember what I'm saying. Normally these days, just like give it hell. I try not to think anything negative. Like I could have easily had a lot of negative thoughts here. Like, you know, I just don't do things to prove someone wrong, which I like. That doesn't really pop in my head too much. It does sometimes, but I don't focus on it or use it. I just think something like speed, or give it hell. I was enjoying saying things like, dear God, if you need this lifted, then use me. If you need this to go over, or if I'm supposed to lift it over, then watch this. I used that at my recent dumbbell record. I said, watch this to myself. Dear God, watch this. How cocky is that? I love it. Give it hell, I just say to myself, or you've earned this, or something like that. I'll just pep myself up. So this was 171, in case you have forgotten. This is the video we just watched of Josh that he made for me. This is that one. No knee sleeves. Oh, I forgot my knee sleeves that day too. I do like doing stones in knee sleeves because I get this little bounce out the bottom now. I go 1, 2. It's a bit of a spring there. Look at this. This is a grind for me to hold. I held on. I had it, and it just slips back. Close. They say you got 25 seconds. You want another attempt? I said, no, I'll just take another attempt. I'll go for it on my second rather than go now. I walked off. I got another 10 seconds past there and like fucking broke down. Brutal. Anyway, that was the 171 world record attempt. And the reason I cried or got emotional with... it's gone. I might make this a 2-part video now that that's closed. I'll have to reopen that one. So I'll upload this. So this can be the how I felt about the record. And then the next one can be a little bit of a... What would you call it? A walk down memory lane for Smitty and the Stones.